cannot outtrain your fork. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you work, your results are built in the kitchen. And most people are like, well, I eat clean, I eat healthy. And sure, like eating clean and eating healthy is an awesome thing that we should all be more aware of and more mindful of. We should all be working to make more balanced decisions in our health. But the pendulum swings, right? So people think that in order to get these results, I have to thrash all my calories, I have to cut out carbs, right? Because somewhere along the way, like keto, Atkins, all these diets taught us that carbs are bad, but carbs are your friend. Carbs are amazing. We need them for energy. We need them for muscle building. We need them for performance, especially, which brings me into phase 2, right? That progressive overload in our training intensity, which would come second. We need those carbohydrates to replenish. We need them to fuel our training, especially when we're focused on pushing heavier weights and that progressive overload. We need fuel. And so carbohydrates really are your fuel. But yeah, as far as nutrition goes, this is tried and true, the first and most important component. You cannot develop a body that is underfueled. It doesn't work. It's like, I like to kind of think of it as like if you were given antibiotics, right? And you're given antibiotics and you take these antibiotics for 14 days and you just stop taking the antibiotics like 5 days in, and then the infection comes back, right? And then they put you on another dose of antibiotics and eventually you become antibiotic resistant. We have to think of that kind of in terms of our nutrition, right? We reach a place of metabolic adaptation, and that's where our body adjusts to the amount of calories we're currently consuming. And this is why people keep thrashing and pulling calories, thinking that that's the problem, but they end up hitting a bottom of their deficit and you can't go any lower. You eventually have to go back up. And so going back to a body recomposition, and your question that you previously asked, what if I want to lose weight? Well, if you are hypothetically in a position that you're at a bottom deficit, we can't go lower, we got to go up. So we slowly increase those calories over time, which is going to allow your body to utilize nutrition and the fuel that you're giving it more efficiently. You're going to get better results. You're going to have more energy. You're going to sleep better. You're going to be less prone to injury, right? That's all of our biggest things that we're trying to avoid at all costs all the time is injury prevention. And I know we talk about that in the gym, right? Like we talk about proper form, making sure that we're taking things slow, focusing on muscle contractions, imbalances, getting body work done, right? To keep ourselves healthy. But if you really want to set yourself up for a good line of defense, you need to be starting in the kitchen because underfueling is one of the most impactful contributors to injury, is just not getting enough nutrients.
Malnourishment.
So it brings us to number 2, which is training intensity.